Families of numerous survivors of the disaster in Nepal and parts of North India are anxious for their return. My colleague Deepak spoke to the family of a survivor right here in Bengaluru. Let's listen in.
Well, it's one thing if you watch television, learnt about the earthquake, and probably felt sad for the people who were probably going through the trauma there. But it's another thing to have your own family member go through the trauma there, live through the experience of the earthquake. I have two such people here with me, the son and the husband of Geeta, who's in fact even now stuck at Delhi. The family is still awaiting Miss Geeta to actually come back. If you could tell us, you first watched television, I'm sure, learnt about the earthquake, and you knew that your mother was in the epicenter, near, very close, few kilometers from the epicenter of this quake. What were the emotions that you were going through?
The emotions, basically, I was quite confused because I was at my workplace at the hospital, and I got a call from one of my colleagues saying there's an earthquake in Nepal, and since she knew my mother was traveling, she asked me to inquire and find out what was the news. So then I didn't know what to do, so immediately I called up my father because I wasn't directly in touch with her and the number wasn't going through. I asked my father if he knew about the incident, and if he had any contact with her, and even he couldn't get through at that particular time. But then later, he told me he got in touch with the travel agent, and they said he said they were fine. So that time I was quite relieved. Then later, by and by, I kept seeing news that the government is taking charge, they're helping them, and by evening, emergency evacuations were scheduled and all that. So since and then by the time also, maybe late afternoon, he got in touch with her. So then after that, I was quite relieved. I was quite relieved, so I didn't find the need to worry much. But yeah, there was a slight feeling of anxiety within me, where what would have happened to her, how she was. And so yeah, that's about it. And then once the evacuation started, we were quite calm and composed and peaceful at that time. And of course, every flight which was coming in, we were just checking to see whether they were getting down from the carriers or not. That's it.
Now, firstly, the communications were down immediately after the quake. The communications, almost nobody could get in touch. Even internal communications was pretty bad. Of course, the first attempt that you would have made is to get in touch with her. Did she have a mobile phone? Did the guys who planned the trip, were they reachable? How did you go about actually communicating to her?
Okay, this was around 12 o'clock that I got to know about this whole incident. And at around 12, I started trying out their mobile numbers and with their companions, etc. So around 12:30, I called up the travel agent, the local number here in Bangalore, and they said that they've got an information that they're absolutely fine and there's no cause for concern. And subsequently, I tried the hotel. The hotel said that they've gone for sightseeing and they should be safe. There's no casualty reported from that group. And at around 2:30 is when I was able to contact them, because by that time we were watching on the television, and they said that the communications were down, and also the airport was closed. So at what 2:30 is when we got to know about and we spoke to each other, and they said they're doing fine, and they've been asked to stay put at the temple where they had visited and not to move around until the situation stabilizes. And because there were tremors coming continuously, and so that's where it was. So that's how we established contact around 2:30.
Now, overall, we should understand that for you, having your wife there, looking at the news channels, there were constantly updates regarding the number of death tolls rising. There was also tremors that were coming in frequently. Through all of this, how did you actually manage to contain yourself? How did you maintain that composure? And was it, how hard was it for you?
The good thing was that we were able to be in touch, and at some point of time, she was able to WhatsApp me also and give me an update as to what is happening there. And late in the evening, because by then even the news channels didn't know the exact count of the number of deaths that had taken place, the extent to which the calamities were and the deaths were. So we got to know at around 7:30 that they have made some arrangements. The Karnataka government has got in touch with the central government to see that you know, whoever the tourists are from Bangalore are, taken to a safe place, and also provisions being made towards their safe return. And it was only around that time. So we were in constant touch on the phone. We managed to establish contact. And late at about 1:45 a.m., we got to know that she had landed in Delhi.
Okay. Now, overall, now how relieved is your mother? How relieved are you to actually get in touch with her now, knowing that she's been brought to Delhi and very soon she'll be arriving in Bengaluru? How relieved are you knowing about this?
Yeah, we're quite relieved, even though, she's coming back, a bit late. But then we're quite relieved that she's quite safe. She has no casualty, she's fine. And plus, she's a strong person. I know her personally, she's quite a strong person mentally. So, it's good, and by God's grace, she's been able to come past this natural calamity.
Absolutely. And did she have anything to say when she first spoke to you all? Did she have any experience to share about what happened? Because there would have, it's a natural calamity and she would have probably not gone through it living in Bengaluru. Did she have anything special to say?
Actually, it was one of our companions who did mention that they were just about 100 feet away from, where the earthquake had struck. And that's how the miraculous escape that they had. Because they were debating whether to, go one more last round to the temple or to go shopping. So that few seconds of that discussion is where I think they were saved, and otherwise possible that they would have, succumbed to those things.
Absolutely.
So
Now, when your mother and when your wife reaches here, is there any surprise that you're planning? Because this is something that you'll be really happy that she's coming back from. It's any surprise that both of you are planning?
We are we'll be very surprised and very happy to see her back. Yeah. After
She's
all
going to
this,
be- yeah.
she's
So we're gonna be at the airport.
yeah, we're going to be there obviously in the airport to go and receive her.
Right. Thank you so much. Anyway, thank you. So there you heard it. I think both the son and the husband really excited that in fact Ms. Geeta is making her way back to Bengaluru, and they are going on to say that this is in fact the biggest relief that they've had. With camera person Shivanand, this is Deepak Bopana reporting for News 9.
Well, Bengaluru is host to many students from different parts of the world, and today students from Nepal studying in Namma City held a candlelight vigil in Sambram College as a mark of respect to the ones who lost their lives and prayed for the ones battling it out in the disaster-stricken areas. There were more than 100 students present, and they started the march with a moment of silence. We know the sort of devastation that took place yesterday in Nepal with the earthquake, and of course again today when the tremors were felt in North India and Nepal again, and to show their solidarity towards the country and to whatever took place in Nepal, students across all age groups have come together today to show their solidarity for the reason for the earthquake that took place. Now if you see behind me, all these students have come together to express their solidarity for the issue. Now all of them over here are across different age groups and across, various communities. So it's not just Nepalis and people who have their families back there in Nepal, but also you can see how such an issue actually brings everyone together and unites everyone together. So let's just talk to a couple of them and find out what brings them here. What was your first reaction when you saw this news?
No, yes, we have the family in the Nepal. We felt it was very black day for our nation. We have marked this candle for the reap. The people have suffered in the earthquake, and this was the very distress moment for us.
Now you are one person who is actually behind this. So tell us, what do you have a family back there? What was the purpose of actually keeping this candle march? Of course, it is to show your solidarity for the devastation that a lot of people are facing in Nepal. And of course, today again we saw that the tremors were felt in North India as well. So what was the reason for you to come together and organize this candle march?
The thing is that we are far from our place. Okay, we don't have any contact to our parents. So it's like we have our feelings, we'll share the feelings here. What the feelings we have, it's like our family. It's like our family. So we are conducting the reason behind this is like to give a tribute to the people who have lost their lives. More than 2,000 people have lost their lives and still counting. And another reason, the thing is that we are planning for a donation. We have one foundation. So it's under Mr. Ravindra Mishra, Helping Hands. So we're under that foundation, we are collecting money. It unites everyone together. From every community there are people. There are Indians supporting us. They are from different parts of the India, different states. They are supporting us. and we are from different religion. We are come together for this devastating event. It's affecting our country very badly. So we have united to give certain support, certain a little bit of our help can be more to them because they are short of everything right now. There is no electricity, there is no drinking water, there is nothing. So little help from our society, from our people, maybe big amount of to the to that people who are suffer from earthquake.
Will help. What about you now? You've come here today. What is the reason that you have come out here for? Do you have friends and family back there, or is it just because everyone's showing their solidarity for this very purpose is the reason you've come here today?
No, of course I have my family back there, and I miss them at this place, at this stage. What's being going there through their lives right now. I feel like very sad for them that this happened. It's a natural disaster. Nobody can prevent it, you see.
Well, there you go. The students in Namma city across various communities, not just people who have their families back home in Nepal, have come together to show their solidarity for the devastation that has been caused in Nepal by the earthquake. With camera person Shiv Shankar, this is Nivedna Prabhu reporting for News 9.